Here's 12 things we didn't know about living in San Diego. And some of these were a welcome surprise, and a few of these are just downright annoying. And the last one is the most surprising of all. So stick around to hear what that is.
So number 12 on our list is it gets cold here in San Diego.
It does, actually cold.
I was told when I was moving to San Diego, it was the most perfect weather in the entire country. And I found that to be, well, somewhat false.
It's America's finest city.
It is.
And it is fine. Like, wonderful.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's just fine.
But it does get cold. So don't believe everything that you read.
In the wintertime, it gets down into like the 50s for the most part, which obviously, if you're in other parts of the country, that might not sound that bad to you.
No, it doesn't.
But when we don't really dress for the winter weather here in San Diego.
Right, exactly. So by comparison, it does feel cold for us. And when you are on the coast, you do get a lot of like moisture mixed in with that cold weather, and it can make it feel even colder than 50.
A bit brisk outside.
A bit brisk. Yeah.
And not to mention the water temperature here in San Diego also gets quite cold. So on a good summer day, you'd be lucky if it reaches 70 degrees.
Right.
Very lucky.
Oh, if it's 74, people are out there without wetsuits, like living
without
it up.
clothes
like
on,
they
it gets
feel like,
crazy.
acting like they're in the water off of the coast of Hawaii or something.
Yes. So just know it does get a little chilly here in San Diego at times.
Oh, number 11. I love this one. The distance to Los Angeles is deceptive. It is only 120 miles, which should not take you...
It should take you 2 hours.
That should take you 2 hours. Let's say you're driving 60 miles an hour, right? Yep. That should take you 2 hours.
I feel like this was a math equation.
I know, right? Yeah. You're probably not going to make it in 2 hours. That 120-mile trip can take
you 3 to 4 hours.
Absolutely.
On a normal day here.
Absolutely. There is almost always traffic. There is almost always construction. Good luck finding like the fastest route using your map apps to try to find a faster route. There isn't one.
No, there are a couple ways, 2 different freeways you could take.
Yeah.
But when you get on the freeway, it might say 2 hours, 2 hours and 15.
And
but as you start going, there's accidents, there's traffic, there's just more and more people who jump on the road, and it just increases like by 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I would always give yourself at least 3 hours to get down to get up to Los Angeles or coming down to San Diego.
Yes. Everything you've heard about LA traffic is true.
Yes.
And it's unpredictable, and it seems like it's all hours of the day, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's just always there.
That's a big reason why I left Los Angeles.
To get away from that traffic.
Yes, because it was awful. Okay, number 10 on the list is one of my personal favorites. One of the big reasons, not the big reasons why I moved to San Diego, but they have a huge craft beer culture here in San Diego. Yeah. We have over 150 breweries throughout San Diego, and it's consistently ranked in the top 5 in the best beer cities in the country.
So this was a pleasant surprise for you. This wasn't an annoying surprise. No. This one you liked.
Honestly, this is good and bad because, obviously puts on a few pounds when you enjoy beers. And sometimes the beer list at a lot of these restaurants are longer than the food list at the restaurants. Actually, pretty much every single restaurant here in San Diego. So if you are a beer lover or future beer lover, San Diego is a good place for you.
Yeah, that's true. Number 9 on the list is the traffic and freeway culture here was kind of a surprise to me. People don't talk about the weather. There aren't as many fluctuations in the weather, but people talk about traffic and the freeways all the time. That's all. It's like such a hot topic.
The morning news is mostly just talking about the traffic.
Yes. Right. We don't have that much to say about the weather. It's pretty consistent for most of the year. But the traffic, it's crazy. So I would say in San Diego, obviously it's not as bad compared to Los Angeles, but we do still have some predictable traffic patterns here that are a bit congested. Yep. The 5 during rush hour or the 15. The 78.
The 78 is brutal. I hate the 78.
You cannot stand. Yes. But also part of that haloing around that culture, I would say, is just how distance and traffic is used as a measure of how long it takes to get somewhere. So you wouldn't say it's only like 2 miles down the road. You'd say, oh, it's a 20-minute drive.
Yes.
Everywhere. I fell into that routine so quickly of just, oh, yeah, it's in Carlsbad. And then you're not like...
I don't even know how far it is to Carlsbad, but I know how many minutes.
How far Carlsbad is, but I know it's going to take you between 38 and 42 minutes.
Yes, to get to Carlsbad. We go up to Oceanside a lot for my son's soccer games all the time.
You know.
And it's usually 45 to 50 minutes, pretty much to a T. But it's probably, I don't know, is it 20 miles? I don't even know how far it is.
I don't know.
So
someone tell
if you live here, you won't know either. You'll just know how long it takes to get there.
You won't. That's right. even like the grocery store somewhere close where when I have relatives that come visit, how close is that grocery store to you? Is that like half a mile? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, it's a 5-minute drive.
Are we the only city that does that? Or is that just
sure. I would love to know.
I'd be curious. Do other people say it that way? Or do they say, oh, it's 5 miles away?
Well, I know coming from the East Coast, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't really use time as a measure of the distance. I would just, you got to get on the blue route. You got to get on the blue route for 30 miles. Something like that.
One other thing I want to mention about roads or freeways, a lot of the roads over here have a lot of similar names, especially in the 56 corridor that we live in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ranchos. There's Rancho Penasquitos, there's Rancho Bernardo, there's Rancho Santa Fe. Then there's Carmel Mountain Road, there's Carmel Valley, there's Carmel Valley Road.
Carmel Creek,
Carmel Country. So it can be when you first moved here, especially this little vicinity over here, it can be very confusing about what road you're going, or some roads start over here and then end over this way and they don't even connect.
They don't.
And they're the same name road.
I've lived here for 11 years. I'm still confused with Carmel Country and Carmel Creek. I don't know which one comes first off of the freeway.
And then there's Torrey Hills and then Torrey Highlands, which is also confusing to people.
Torrey Pines, Torrey Hills, Torrey Highlands.
So you do get used to it.
Torrey.
But it'll take you probably a year to get used to all the different
or just keep using your GPS. Yes. Don't even worry about it.
I've been here 10 years. I still use my GPS because I don't know which road is what.
Yeah.
So. Okay, number 8 on the list is, I have really no scientific data backing this up, is that people are always late in San Diego.
So not a pleasant surprise. This is more of a little annoying.
It's more of an annoyance than it is like a huge culture shock type thing. But I would say everyone tends to be 5 to 10 minutes late to most things. Gatherings, sporting events, school. Well, maybe not school as much. We try to be on time for school. But it's just that no one's like in a real rush to get around here.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not like we're on like island time, like you hear some people describe, but it is kind of similar. I mean, it is a coastal, laid back type attitude sort of town.
Maybe I realize that more is because we have to, when we schedule showings for people for houses.
Sure.
I swear everyone is at least 5 to 10 minutes late to every single showing.
Yeah, and it's just kind of assumed that people are.
So I always bake that into the time when we do a showing because I know people are going to be constantly late, because especially if they're new to San Diego and they don't know how many minutes it takes to get to a place. Coming full circle.
Yeah.
It can always take a few extra minutes more than you think it's going to.
You're right. Again, why I use my GPS for everything, because I want the ETA, I want the estimated time of arrival, because I have no idea how long it'll take me to drive 7 miles or 4 miles or whatever.
Makes sense.
Number 7, I'm going to throw it out there, but really Bern is more of an expert on this. I'm talking about club sports culture.
For kids. For kids. Yes.
Kids into teenhood, teenage.
So if you are new to San Diego or have been living here and your kids are in sports or club sports specifically, the club sports culture is intense here in San Diego. So when I was growing up, there were clubs, I think.
Travel teams
or that sort of thing. So other people would call it different things. But I don't remember it ever being to this extent. It's like how young you have to start doing it.
It's very intense.
And then how time intensive it is too. Yeah. And how far you have to travel for some of these things too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my son really likes to play lots of things, and we reluctantly let him play a lot of the things. And it just takes up a lot of time and a lot of money. These things aren't cheap either.
Yeah.
But you start a lot younger here. So I feel like a lot of people think if they don't start young, they'll never be able to play again.
Right.
So
which is not true. But
it's definitely
this is different than the rec league, which is more recreation league, where it's just recreational, where you're kind of just playing in the springtime. You play soccer, and in the winter you might play basketball. The club teams or the travel teams, this is like a full year.
All year round. Yeah.
You play all year round. You pay some pretty hefty fees. You pay tournament fees. You have travel fees.
Monthly fees.
Yeah. Some of these tournaments are in Las Vegas or
Oceanside,
which is 54 minutes away. I would say that kind of falls under the, very surprising, but also maybe a little annoying.
It's not what I expected.
I would like to see the numbers, though, that correlate with how many of these kids that have come up playing the club sports go on to get like college scholarships or play professional sports.
Well, my son's probably going to be like a 5'10" white kid. Probably not going to be very scholarship heavy, but we'll find out.
Yes, he is so multi-talented, though.
Just kidding, man. You're going to do great. So it's good. I was going to say, when I was a kid, I don't remember doing all these sports or all these club teams, at least. But maybe I just wasn't that good at sports.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but I was thinking it. No, I just think it is a new thing. I think it's something that's come around in like the last 15 years because, hey guys, it makes money, right? And anytime somebody can figure out how to monetize something so fun and carefree, such as playing sports, they're going to do it.
Sometimes it doesn't make dollars. It just makes sense.
Hey,
dad jokes. Another thing I thought was slightly surprising coming from even Los Angeles or the East Coast is that the speed at what people drive here in San Diego.
Heck yeah.
Especially this one over here.
I am here for it.
So the speed limit on most freeways is 65 miles per hour. But if you're not really, and I'm not encouraging going over the speed limit by any means, but if you're not going 75 miles per hour, people are going to be lapping you left and right.
That's right. You better be in the right lane with your hazards on if you are going 65 in a 65. Yes, I would say 75 is kind of the norm. Yes. I try to keep it.
Probably 70 to 75.
70 to 75, definitely. People do drive fast. For me, it's not so much the freeways. For me, there are some surface roads, some like 2-lane surface roads where the speed limit is 50. I mean, through like a residential area on Camino del Sur to
what's the speed limit right here? Is this, I don't even know
in
what
this portion here, I believe it is 45. Listen to me, like I know all the speed limits.
Yeah.
You know I do.
I don't know that.
And then when you get over towards Target, past sort of into Rancho Santa Fe.
That's pretty fast. Is that 40? Oh, it's 50 there?
50.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that.
So that, if it says 50, people are going, likely they're going
55, 60, probably, yeah.
Ooh, it's crazy.
And I would say, this is, so don't at me in case you do get a ticket, but unless you're going 80 plus, you're usually not going to get a ticket here.
Yes.
Knock on wood. I know I'm going to get a ticket.
No, because you are likely going with the flow of traffic.
Yes. Because if everybody's going 75, they can't give everyone a ticket.
That's right.
Just keep that in mind.
That's the old thinking.
But don't at me if you get a speeding ticket.
The fifth thing we're going to mention that was surprising, but in a great way, I'd say, is how easily accessible the beaches are here. And I would say it goes for all of, most of San Diego County.
North County, San Diego.
If you're coming around, North County, San Diego, even if you're in Poway, you can still be at the beach in 25 minutes, I would say. And not just to the beach, but pulled in, parked, and walking onto the sand. They've got great accessible parking lots that literally pull you right up to the sand. So you're not having to, park 5 blocks away and lug all your stuff. It's just so well thought out with all the state parks, all of the, San Diego has 31 different beaches, 13 different beach towns. I just think they make it very
expensive. It almost feels like one feels like a small beach town in itself. So Del Mar and Encinitas, Solana Beach, I mean, they are for the most part. So and the parking is just super. I mean, I love talking about parking so much.
Yeah.
Anything that makes it easy for me to park, I'm all in.
Right. So. Well, and how great that you live here. You want to be able to go to the beach. That's part of why you're paying so much to live here.
Sure.
And they make it easy to get there. And we talk all the time about the California Explorer Pass, which gets you access to all of the state beaches. You just hang that on your little windshield and drive right in. Now, the beaches do close, some would say early. I mean, they don't want you camping out on the beach all night. Sure. They close the lots close when the sun goes down. The lifeguards are off duty
you
when
can still
the sun
be
goes
on the
down.
beach when it's dark, but if you're parking there, you're going to have to leave. So.
That's right. I mean, I love that. That was such a pleasant surprise. I've never lived anywhere where it was just so easy to get to the beach.
Yeah, it's great. All right, next one I want to talk about is another one we've talked about quite a bit on the channel is the sports teams, especially major league sports teams here in San Diego. We don't have a lot of them. And we actually heard of a comedian recently say that the reason why we don't have sports teams is because San Diego is way too nice to spend time doing sports.
Yeah, there's so many other things
There's so many things to do. Granted, we love our Padres. And when they're good, people are super excited about it. When they're not good, there's their core fan base and then there's everyone else.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. If you're a big major league sports fan of a town, San Diego might not be perfect for you. Although we are getting more teams. We're getting the minor league Clippers team coming this year. And we're also getting the men's soccer team coming to San Diego in the near future. So
that's right.
I think we could withstand a full NBA team. Again, one day we lost the Clippers back in the 80s, but maybe a minor league team is just a warm up for our next NBA team.
We're still a great city, even without a ton of sports teams to have their franchise based here.
Just a lot of people are fans of other teams, not just San Diego teams.
That's true.
Phillies, Eagles, Sixers.
Yeah. Hey. Number 3, on the list that surprised me moving here was all of the wildlife encounters that you have on a daily basis, or have there's the possibility that you might have when you're out in the ocean. There are dolphins, there are seals, there are sea lions that come so close to shore. If you're out there on your boogie board or your surfboard or you're swimming, all of the wildlife is right there.
Not to mention that we do have sharks here in San Diego.
We also have sharks. I wasn't going to mention that.
I always have to bring up sharks. We have leopard sharks that would come out, I think, at a certain time of year. But you do hear of the occasional great white shark, especially off of Torrey Pines.
They're out there.
Quite a bit.
Not just in the water. I mean, you've got...
They're not just in the water?
This was my segue, guys. Not just in the water,
sand sharks.
We also... Land sharks and sand sharks. There's tons of wildlife. You're here on a canyon. When you're a little bit more inland, it's coyotes and mountain lions and rattlesnakes and scorpions.
Story. My brother-in-law was out walking one morning and he saw there was 3 coyotes like following him down the street. So he jumped in the pickup truck that was just parked on the street.
Somebody else's pickup truck?
Yeah, someone else's pickup truck. And he hid in the bed of the pickup truck until they ran off. So I thought that was a fun story.
And he heard them discussing the coyotes as they walk by. Wily coyote, yeah. So I think that's something that surprised me, but it also makes San Diego really special. So I kind of like that one.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I don't love rattlesnakes and sharks, but
I know people they get big fear of rattlesnakes. Yeah. I've only seen 2 rattlesnakes in 10 years in San Diego.
I've only seen 2. I might have seen 3. There are other people who've seen way more.
Granted, if you go out in the canyon or go hiking a lot, Jerry sees them all the time.
Jerry sees them.
But if you are a big hiker or mountain biker in the canyons, you'll definitely see more rattlesnakes.
That's true.
Number 2 on our list is the amount of EV cars you'll see, Teslas especially, and solar panels usage in here. So we have the 3rd most EV cars in the country in San Diego. And the 3rd most solar energy produced in San Diego in the country. Only behind Honolulu and Las Vegas.
Wow. I don't find that hard to believe. Obviously, we have the weather that is really conducive for solar panels, solar power. The electric car thing, I really wish people could come here and just experience the amount of electric cars that we have on the road. It feels different when I visit the East Coast, when I go back to the Philadelphia area, and it seems like I don't see that many.
Yeah.
And I think if you live here for a long time, you take it for granted. But like at my kids' elementary school, there's like 4 Cybertrucks.
It's like 3 out of 4 cars is like an electric vehicle. You go to Target where they have the chargers there. They're all full.
Exactly. So you get used to it when you live here. But if you're coming from somewhere else, I think if you pay attention, you'd be shocked.
It's like a Tesla showroom out there.
It is, especially those Cybertrucks. I feel like I see people online like, whoa, I saw a Cybertruck today. And I'm like, they are all over here.
There goes one right now.
There you go. This is not last but not least. This is actually number 1. This was the most surprising to me. And that is just the size of San Diego County. Even after living here for so many years, working in real estate, I'm still shocked at how big San Diego County is. There are 1.3 million people in the city, but the actual county has over 3 million people, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And there are only 2 other cities in the United States that have more in the county,
right?
More population-wise.
So it's and honestly, when you hear about San Diego City, everyone kind of just assumes it's the county because everyone that lives in downtown still goes to North County. I feel like there's some cities you don't use the entire county to do it. If you live in San Diego, everyone's talking about the county for the most part.
Yes, that's right. And like I said, I'm just constantly amazed because the other day we were talking and you said, oh yeah, well, you said, I was like, oh, but it's all the way up in Julian. Julian is a little town.
Like San Diego County.
And you're like, that's San Diego County. And I was like, what?
What about Fallbrook and Bonsall? San Diego County.
Julian's over an hour away. I go there on like vacation.
How many miles is it though?
I don't know. I have no idea how many miles, but it takes an hour and 12 minutes to get to where I'm going in Julian. And it's like where I go for a vacation. And I'm still in San Diego County.
You never have to leave San Diego County to go on vacation. It's the biggest thing you'll learn about living in San Diego.
Absolutely wild to me. It's amazing. My mind is boggled by the sheer size. I want to put the map up here and really show people how big it is. Yes. Yeah. I think the whole state of Delaware could fit in San Diego County.
It probably
top to bottom. Yeah.
So those were our 12 things we were surprised about by living here in San Diego.
Did not expect living in San Diego.
Hopefully this, guys, was helpful for you guys. Because we moved to San Diego one day and these were all surprising to us.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys found it helpful. And if this is your first time to our channel, please consider subscribing to our channel as we post new videos each and every week. And we're still trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. So please help us out.
Yeah, come on.
And if you're ever looking to buy or sell here in San Diego, we'd love to help you out.
There you go.
Thanks for watching. Catch us next time.
Bye.